Good morning, everyone. In the previous chapter number 11, we studied about the different kind of oceans and their temperature differences, their salinity. And now we're going to continue with that same chapter's theme, and we're going to talk about tides and ocean currents. We all have seen the ocean water moving in the form of waves. I think I spoke to you also about it while we had our Zoom class, and we've seen this wave happening, and the waves which happen is basically because of the wind. If the wind is stronger, waves are higher. If the wind is not strong, waves are lower in height. But apart from those movements, there are two more regular movements which happen in the ocean water, and they are because of the difference in density. That means whether the water is light or strong, due to salinity as well as temperature. Winds also affect these movements to a certain extent, but not much. So we are going to talk about the tides first. Now, tides are actually the regular rise and fall of the water level twice in 24 hours. That means every 12 hours the water level rises or lowers down. So when the water is rising, we call that as a floor tide, and when the water is going down, that is receding, then we call that as ebb tide. Now, these tides actually occur because of two reasons. One, of course, the gravitational force of the moon, and to some extent by the pull of the sun and rotation of the earth. Now, we all know that all the objects in the universe, they have some force and they apply that force across each other, and that is why the solar system remains in shape. It does not change its path or it does not change its position. So that gravitational force pulls, the moon's gravitational force pulls towards the earth, and the water being lighter gets pulled towards the moon, and therefore the level of the water rises that side, and the other side because the earth also moves out. I'm going to send you the YouTube links also, so animated videos you can see and you'll understand how the tides are occurring. And of course the second one's rotation of the earth, which I showed you while I was having the Zoom session with you, with a bottle full of water. So when the water, when the earth is tilted towards one side, the water moves towards one side, and when the other side goes, it goes towards the other side. So when the moon is overhead at any point, it pulls the water, and from the other end, the water starts traveling to this point. Therefore, the place where moon is present, that place has a high tide, and the other places have a low tide. And actually, what happens is when the sun, the moon, and the earth are in a straight line, highest tides are caused, and they are caused on full moon nights and new moon nights, and these tides are called as spring tides. So these are the highest tides which occur when the sun, moon, and the earth are in a straight line, and that happens on full moon, that is Purnamashi, and new moon, that is Amavasya. And when the sun, moon are at right angles with each other, that is the first and the last quarter, that is when the moon is half in shape, the pull gets dissolved and the force of attraction reduces, and the water does not rise to a very high this thing, and therefore we call it as low tides, and these low tides are called as the neap tides. Now, why are we studying about the tides? What is the effects of tides? Now, tides can destroy coastlines and move debris to the sea, cleaning the shore. So what happens is when the tide is moving in, towards the land, it can strike the coastal areas, break the rocks, and then when it is going back, it clears that debris, takes away all the debris into the sea and settles on the seafloors. Therefore, it cleans up the shores. Then strong tides prevents formation of deltas. When the water comes in too much inside the land, it does not allow the rivers to deposit silt or alluvial soil before they enter the sea or an ocean. That it clears that silt, takes it back inside the ocean, and therefore it does not allow the rivers to form deltas. It also helps the ship to enter or leave a harbor. Of course, when the water levels are in, the ship can travel to a longer distance, and therefore the ships can come in, and while the tides are going out, the ships can leave a harbor also. Now, tides obviously, since they're coming from the sea, they will be bringing in salty water, saline water. So the industries can use the saline water in the production of salt. Then we are also using the force of water when it comes in to produce electric current, and that is called as tidal energy. And when the tides come in with a lot of force, they bring in a lot of minerals and nutrients with the seawater, And they also bring in tiny microorganisms which act as a food for the shelled animals like oysters and mussels. I'm going to stop here. I will not give you more on this chapter. In the next video, I'm going to talk about the ocean currents and how they help in the moderation of the climate. I am sending two links with this video. They are YouTube links, they are animated videos. You will be able to see how tides are caused, and then it will explain it to you how spring and neap tides are caused. Bye bye for now.